Afternoon, VC. Been quite the up and down week here for me. Monday, the article in Goldmine Music Magazine dropped that I had mentioned would be coming in a prior video from the one and only Tone Scott. And Tone is one of us here in the vinyl community. He's had a channel for a long time. I became aware of Tone through his tour around Los Angeles record stores. He would do these videos where he would take you into a different record store every time in Los Angeles. It was really, really cool to see. That's how I became aware of him. He's been in the music business a long time, writing music, producing, all those types of things, and he's now a feature writer for Goldmine Music Magazine. He did an article online featuring the vinyl community, and so that's some serious recognition there. I mean, they've been around a long time, maybe Rolling Stone only longer. It was really cool to see. I've had this channel over 14 years. It has changed names. It was Local Bandography. I was posting just, mostly music videos. Live music that I was filming at the time is something that I'd done for years. Some gigs were paying gigs, some weren't. But I filmed a lot of great bands over the years, some big ones too, like Pelican out of Chicago. There's been a bunch. But yeah, it was really great to see some other members that I've been subscribed to for years featured there too. He left links to every channel. I really dug that. It was a well-written article. I'll leave links to the article, links to Tone's video about it, so you can kind of get a background story from him on what the deal is with it. I guess there's going to be more content to come in Goldmine about the vinyl community, which I'm excited about. But yeah, 14 plus years, and finally I get some serious recognition. It's very honored, Tone, so really appreciate it. Had to have someone come over and take a photo, and it was a little awkward. Felt strange, but turned out great. So that was that. That was Monday, and then Tuesday morning I'm in the hospital. Not knowing what the hell's going on, and I got a follow up later next week. Might know what's going on more then. But while I'm breathing air, there's going to be records. And so we've got records here from late in the week, just some local digs, repo, and just a grab and go from Lunchbox. So yeah, we'll show you some records of varied stuff again. That seems to be what you're going to get here. If you're trying to come to this channel for one specific genre, there was a while you could have done that for jazz, but it's getting to be more varied now, basically because I'm out of room for jazz in this house. There's 3, 6, 9, 13, about 18 cubes of jazz. It's a lot of jazz. And there'll be some more jazz here I'm going to show you, but I'm about completely out of room for jazz. So trying to vary it up here. Yeah. But I go into repo, and Steve's been there a long time. He's the man. And I hadn't found any records yet, and he went out to his car, and he comes back in, and he gave me 2 records. He said, I've got these 10 inches. I don't know what to do with 10 inches. And most of us don't. They're just, I mean, I love singles and I love LPs. 10 inches are kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. And it's got to be something really worthwhile for me to purchase a 10-inch record. But these were free, so I wasn't saying no to free records. And he knows my taste pretty well. And these are jazz, 10 inches. And so the first is Duke Ellington and his famous orchestra on the Vogue Choral label from the UK. It's got this tip-on jacket here, which is, I love the tip-on jackets. that they did in the UK with a lot, you know, a lot of record labels did that. Vogue Records Limited on Fulham Road in London, England. This is songs from ranging from 1928 to 1931, early, you know, Ellington when he was but he was starting to sell records then. So a couple of Louisiana style tunes, Creole Rhapsody, Tiger Rag, and then a couple blues numbers, Yellow Dog Blues, Tashamingo Blues, and then Jazz Jammer, Jazz Convulsions, and then Awful Sad, you know, like a ballady, more ballady number. But yeah, this is, I don't know what year that's from. It's old, I would assume. It's on the, you know, like, here's the Vogue Choral label. It needs a clean. But as far as Ellington went, I only had Live at Newport, and I think it was Money Jungle, the one with Mingus. What else is on that? Max Roach? I forget. But yeah, that's all I had for Ellington, and like a 7-inch of Take the A Train that I actually found a repo. So happy to add some more Ellington into the collection. I think he's underappreciated. His catalog is absolutely immense and just one of the most brilliant, most important people in music history in the U.S. And then the other 10-inch, and this turned out to be quite valuable when I logged it on Discogs. That's Charlie Christian, Jazz Immortal, on the Esoteric label, and this is original from 1951. And it is an interesting record being from 1951 as it is red. I know Fantasy did some red way back. Well, so did Esoteric. I guess red was, you know, everybody was experimenting with the color vinyl for maybe the first time way back then. But this lineup is extraordinary. Charlie Christian on guitar, fantastic guitarist. Thelonious Monk on piano. Joe Guy trumpet. Kenny Clark on the drums, and Nick Fenton bass. Kenny Clark and Monk. Yeah, that's your ticket right there. Recorded at a jam session in May of 1941 at Minton's Playhouse, and not released until 1951. So 1941, Monk on piano. Yeah, that's, you know, fairly rare. So thanks, Steve. Those are killer. And so I got to looking around a little bit. I did want to look in some of the dollar bins. I didn't have a whole lot of time. And I did pull one record out of the dollar bin. There was a bunch of classical that got dumped in there, and it was a lot of Bach, a lot of Beethoven, you know, stuff I'm not interested in. But within all that was this record. And that's Bela Bartok, Concerto for Orchestra. This is on the Qualiton label from Hungary and played by the Hungarian State Concert Orchestra, conducted by János Ferencik. And it's a great cover, which stood out, and, you know, of course, Bartok. And so I picked it up for $1. And it sounds like you're in a Star Wars movie. Like an early Star Wars flick, like maybe the first Star Wars. It's fantastically played. It sounds incredible. The dark, deep parts of this really draw you in. It's a concerto, so like I said, it's, you know, it gets big. There's a good finale at the end. But yeah, like being in a Star Wars flick. So it stays in the collection. I dig it. Won't probably get too many spins, but it's a very enjoyable record for $1. Found this in one of the back new arrival bins. James Brown plays James Brown today and yesterday. And James Brown plays the organ on this quite a bit. And it's a mono original, I think from '62. Don't quote me on the year, but it's in VG plus shape as marked on the sleeve. And the reason I picked this up, A's on the organ, I don't see that as very often. And he plays two really cool cuts, Sidewinder, written by Lee Morgan, and Song for My Father, written by Mr. Horace Silver. And there's some good hits on here, Try Me, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, you know, things like that. But those jazz tunes are killer. On Smash Records, original mono. Always happy to add any James Brown to the collection in this house. There's the original inner, which you don't see original inners all that much in this stuff. And it's in great shape. VG Plus, like it said, near mint. There's your Smash Records label. It's a cheap record. So, because James Brown, they always pressed, you know, a gazillion of them. But saw those jazz covers. I was like, you know what? That's definitely worth picking up, and it was. Blues section. I've been picking up blues, good blues when I can find it. And I didn't have any of this artist. And it's going to be like that for a while for me because I've just really only been picking up blues records for a year or so. A little over a year, maybe a year and a bit. Remembering Big Bill Broonzy, the greatest minstrel of the authentic blues on the Mercury Records label. So it's a comp of performances from 1951. And the first side's got 3 really good cuts. John Henry and Billy Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home. The opening 2 are fantastic. And then I also dig Leroy Carr on that first side. Yeah, and like I said, all from 1951. The second side, Stump Blues is great, and Walking Down a Lonesome Road to End. But all short, pretty short songs. You know, nothing gets to 4 minutes. The longest songs are like 3 and change. So he, you know, lays the hook and brings you in, and great vocals. Really dig the vocals and some of the really good guitar playing. The whole front side is one deal from 1951, and it's a cool sound because it sounds like he's in a big open space. There's a lot of echo, but it's still fine. Really good sounding record. So I'm very happy with this. Big, thick. These Mercury records were made to last. I mean, it's in great shape, perfect shape, thick vinyl, really heavy duty. I can't remember what year this was pressed. But yeah, the music's from 51. This was probably pressed in the early 60s. And then I found a grail, basically, if you want to use that word. And it was ridiculously cheap. And Jimmy usually prices his used jazz to move. A lot of his used records he prices to move, to be honest with you. Unless it's a major piece. That stuff comes in and goes out of repo. They're not screwing around. They have a little bit higher prices on new. But they carry specific types of new records that they move, so they are able to do it. But the used stuff is really, really well priced. And this was I think I paid the same as for the reissue as I paid for the original here, and that is Sonny Rollins' The Bridge on RCA Victor. This is an original 1962 mono press in pretty decent shape, like VG, bordering on VG plus, and it was just fantastic price. And yeah, so I'm very, very pleased with this on the RCA Victor label. And this is more of a laid-back affair, with Jim Hall on guitar being a big feature. This one's not gonna blow you away, but it's a very iconic Sonny Rollins record, and it's just beautifully played stuff. And so I do have the reissue that I bought years ago at, this is one of the first times I went to Record Archive in Rochester. I picked this up. It's a Classics Records press, heavy duty vinyl. So that original actually replaced this. I mean, this is was really well done. This is a dead mint copy, but I'll be selling this one now that I have an original. So anybody out there interested in The Bridge by Sonny Rollins, a classic, Classics Records press, let me know. This is pretty minty. Well, VG plus, VG plus plus. So that was everything from Repo. And I had a pickup when I got out of work Friday at Lunchbox. These, I think, are all reissues. Yeah. Fugazi, Repeater, legendary record. I've had the CD forever. I think the CD has Repeater plus 3 songs. But I never had it on vinyl, and it's the only Fugazi record I needed on vinyl. I have everything else. Discord, of course. And this is the recent reissue, remastered. Really nice sleeve. Great photos. The band. Of course, Ian MacKaye is a legend. And it's funny, my friend Joe's in DC right now and just sent me a picture from the Black Cat. On Blue, they're doing these colored reissues and just perfect. Sound great. Discord is just, and these are cheap records. I've talked about this a million times. And it comes with a download code too if you want to download it and have it in the ride. So completed the Fugazi collection. Now if I see an original, yeah, I'd love to pick it up, but these reissues, for as cheap as they are, they sound the same for the most part. Even with the remaster, they don't really screw around with them too much. This one, I've been looking for this record for many of a year. I've been looking for it since it came out. I never found it on CD, never found it on vinyl. The originals, I think there's one for sale in the U.S. for $300, and I can't spend that kind of money on a record like this. So I was very happy to see Reissue, and that's Nail Bomb, Point Blank. Heavy as hell record. Roadrunner Records originally put this out. This is Music on Vinyl's release, which isn't my favorite label in the world, but this one's pretty good. And yeah, Max from Sepultura, and Alex Newport from Fudge Tunnel. Fudge Tunnel from the UK, one of my freaking favorite sludge metal bands from back in the 90s. And this was different when it hit, and it hit hard, and this is fucking killer record. Nail Bomb, Point Blank, and they put it on this crazy vinyl. I think it's like a gray splatter deal. The original, like, replicated the Roadrunner Records label. Sounds really fucking good. Nice sleeve, nice inner sleeve. I mean, they do a nice presentation, Music on Vinyl. It's got the insert, which is cool. And I don't show a lot of this kind of stuff, but this is one, like I said, I've been looking for this record forever. So there's that. And then last but not least is a crazy as fuck record. And I saw it around the VC when it came out. I think it came out in 2020. I'm trying to think who showed this. Maybe James Buttery. Maybe not. But I know that Stunty showed it. But there was a bunch of guys on the Facebook group that showed it that I'm in, and Final Champions, and a few other guys. And that's Duma. It's a duo from Nairobi, Kenya, and it's a striking cover, to say the least. I think this just got reissued this Friday. Originals go around $100. Sometimes you can find a steal on an original for 40 or 50. It just depends, but a lot of people try to get top dollar for this. It's been repressed a couple times. Still, it's a pricey record, so this was a cheap, like $18 reissue. Industrial noise, metal, crazy as fuck vocals. Like I said, it's just a duo from Kenya on a Ugandan label. What's the label? Like something tapes. Can't remember the name of the label. We'll show you the record. Really cool looking custom labels there. Let's see if I can figure out the name of the. I think it's Nyag Tapes, something like that. Could be wrong. And I have the 7-inch that Telegram Sam sent me as VCLT, which is also killer, and they put it out on Sub Pop of all things. But yeah, wild as fuck record, but really goddamn good. If you're into industrial noise, freaking, I don't know, some like breakbeat almost type things in it, and there's all kinds of shit in this. It's a wild ride, but a great record. And that's what we got this week. Peace.